Good evening. My name is Paul Robbins. It is my absolute privilege to be your virtual host for the Sacramento Life Center Gala this year. We were just talking about it, and somebody said it's the 37th year for the Sacramento Life Center Gala. And I've been the MC for all of them, and that is not even technically possible, I think. But it's so good to be back. And I have to tell you, it has been such a privilege through the decades to just watch the miracle that is the Sacramento Life Center. And I mean miracle, what it is today. And to be sure, it's a miracle that's been facilitated by so many people of faith and so much hard work, the work of the volunteers at the Life Center and the courage of the women who come to the Life Center for service and the generosity of people like you. The Life Center, of course, runs on the funds that people like you make possible. So thank you so much for that. Usually the first thing I say at the beginning is, boy, it's so great to be in this big room full of so many people. And obviously it's something different this year. Thank you for being there in groups of 2 or 10 or whatever and wherever you are. But call me nuts. We're not in the big room together. And I say nevertheless, and I've been praying that this is true, this is going to be the most successful Sacramento Life Gala ever. And by successful, I mean profitable. Let's be honest. Surely, through the years, the reason you were generous was not because we were in a big room together, right? You've been generous because of that word in the middle of Sacramento Life Center, life. So thank you for your faithfulness. Let's do it again this year. I'm a guy who looks on the bright side. And so on the bright side, for me, usually my hardest job is getting the room to quiet down. And that's so much easier this year. And then for you, there's no line at the bar at all. So, and feel free to keep your centerpieces this year. They're free. Thank you so much for being here. We have a lot of fun coming up this evening and a lot of inspirational moments. Cynthia Wins is our keynote speaker. She is a powerful force for life in this country, a warrior for life. I'm looking forward to hearing from her this evening. We've got this fantastic auction going on. We have, 12 or 15 really great packages as always. And by the way, you have to register. If you've not done that yet, go to saclifegala.com and register. You still got plenty of time. It goes till 9 o'clock. But tonight, how about a trip for the family to Hawaii? That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? There's a Hawaii vacation there. Sooner or later, life will get back to normal. How about the River Cats game with 20 of your friends, the whole suite at the River Cats game? As always, we have dinner at the Bishop's house. Bishop Soda will host you, and that's a ton of fun, and a gourmet chef making your meal. A Taste of Sacramento, that's a great package. There's $1,200 gift cards to 12 of your favorite restaurants. And we have a wine experience this year. We've never done this before, where you're harvesting and you're winemaking and you're bottling. You end up with 3 cases of wine. That's a wonderful opportunity. And something I point out every year is, if you're looking for a vacation or something to pamper yourself or a gift for a friend, tonight's the night to buy it. Every penny that you spend goes to the Sacramento Life Center. So auction goes till 9 o'clock. Make sure you're registered. And by the way, I'm saying set an alarm on your smartphone for 8:50. So you jump back on and you make sure you've still got the high bid. Thank you for doing that. And again, thank you for your generosity. And one other thing to point out, by the way, we're going to be also seeing a film. And you're going to get a behind-the-scenes look at the Sacramento Life Center in 2020 and the wonderful, hardworking people. And you get a tour of the clinic this year. I'm looking forward to that. But for now, let's meet once again the executive director of the Sacramento Life Center. Here is my friend Marie Leatherby.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us in support of the Sacramento Life Center. For 48 years, we have gathered in celebration of the many lives forever changed. Decades ago, our first dinner and auction started with a few supporters in a private home, and each year it grew a little more until our 2019 gala had a record number of 720 people at the Hyatt Regency Hotel. Tonight, we have returned to our beginnings, and we're hosting our Where Hope Grows Gala and Auction in the comfort of your own home, surrounded by your friends and family, and supporting and celebrating this remarkable organization. I'd like to thank you and all of our sponsors, our private party hosts, auction donors, raffle donors, our wonderful staff and volunteers. Since 1972, 50,000 lives have been saved, yet our work continues. The Sacramento Life Center's mission is to provide compassion, support, resources, and free medical care to women and families facing an unplanned or unsupported pregnancy. Without resources, a woman experiencing unplanned pregnancy may likely make a regrettable decision. The Life Center provides those resources, encouragement, and information she needs to make an informed life decision. We offer dignified care and never judge a woman's situation. With a small staff of 15, we're a busy 2-clinic operation, providing free professional pregnancy testing, education, ultrasound exams, and extensive referral and networking. We also provide material needs, diapers, clothing, baby items for the first 2 years of life. This year, more women than ever before have come through our doors feeling alone, frightened, worried of what the pandemic might do to their health and the health of their unborn child. We've come alongside them, letting them know that they and their babies' lives matter. Many families who are struggling have lost their jobs and medical insurance. Their desperate situations are heartbreaking, but we are there with open arms. And 95% of those women and families who come through our doors will feel supported and equipped to parent. The Life Center continued to grow in 2020 as well. We have formed new partnerships and collaborations with Dignity Health, Sacramento Food Bank, WellSpace Health. We've added new medical staff, new services, education classes, and all while maintaining our national accreditation standard. And it is you, our faithful benefactors, who help bring the hope that is so desperately needed. The Life Center is your organization, helping women and babies who are the widows and orphans of our day. And we thank you for your 48 years of generosity, and we ask that you continue to support life, one pregnancy at a time.
We need to get them off from somewhere. Yeah. Sorry, girl. Rottweiler and a German Shepherd. Whoa. They are protectors. Baby looks okay. Alrighty.
So it was a Monday that I came in. I got the presumptive eligibility for Medi-Cal, and finally was getting my first appointment to see a doctor, you know. And that appointment was a week and a half out. I texted my husband saying that, I'm really not feeling well. I think I should just stay home. I think you need to go get our daughter today from school.
And because there wasn't any kind of real detail in the text I got, I didn't think twice about it. I was just like, yeah, okay, I can pick her up. And
2 minutes later, I'd given birth to her because immediately when she came out and I realized this isn't right, I grabbed the phone and called 911.
We have the Ring video doorbell. And so I looked at it when I got the notification, just saw like a fire truck and ambulance out in the street and paramedics coming through my door. My dog's going crazy. So I tried calling her real quick, didn't get an answer.
And she was still attached to the umbilical cord inside of me. It was still all attached. I clearly remember the fire department saying, "Can you lock your dogs up?"
We need to get them off from somewhere. Yeah. Sorry, girl.
So on top of having her in my hand, because that's how tiny she was, I had to go and corral my dogs behind the baby gate so the fire department could come in.
So I just had to bolt away from work and drive home real quick. And by the time I got there, everybody had kind of cleared the scene except a couple of police officers. And when I was asking them about what was going on, and they finally figured out that I lived there and stuff, they're like, "Oh yeah, congratulations, you had a kid." And it's like, no, that's not for a few months.
She was almost a foot long, but she was 1 pound, 9.2 ounces. I needed 3 units of blood. That's how much I lost. And she was taken to the NICU.
So it was probably a combination of the stress of trying to get medical coverage and being sick that caused the premature birth.
To just hear her say that we helped her so much to be able to get her on the presumptive eligibility, because she honestly was, scared that, she'd get stuck with a big bill, and and already just having to, you know, worry about taking care of her kids in general. So that was a big relief for her.
Because I had presumptive medical eligibility from here, the card that they gave me, I was able to get emergency medical services, which I actually did needed because I gave birth at home. Dolly is awesome. She checked up on me every couple of weeks, and it felt like someone was listening.
And it was amazing to see this tiny little 1 pound and some ounces baby, you know, bloom each, you know, week, and how much stronger she was getting. And so, you know, we decided to help her out with gas money because, you know, we knew that was a big hardship for her to get to the hospital because she lives so far. And especially during right in the middle of the pandemic where the baby wasn't even really being able to be held by anyone. So to be able to give her a little bit of funds to be able to get to the hospital to hold her baby every day just meant everything. And I think that's really what also helped little baby Erin flourish and you know, be here today and strong as ever.
So the main thing this place has done for us is, one, help us get through the headache of being able to see doctors. Mm-hmm. Two, they've been nothing but supportive financially and with like amenities like diapers, clothes, phone numbers for anything we could possibly need, any other organization we would need to contact.
Yeah.
And then just the support, like emotionally, just encouraging us not to, you know, fall under in stress, and that sort of thing is worth its weight in gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a past client of the beautiful Life Center. I was a client 31 years ago. I also am a current donor, and I even came to work here for a period of time because I love it so much. So I kind of had many years of saying I am pro-life, and then I had to prove it. And it was really easy to prove it. I did not have 1 second of ever thinking I would have an abortion. It was just not an option for me. I thank God for that. I thank God for my family who taught me. I have a beautiful son who just turned 30 in May, and he's just a real treasure. So like I was saying, I was in college, and I was pregnant. And when I took that pregnancy test, there's just a really big flood of fear. I had about a big quiet moment, 30 seconds of complete love, and that I knew that I loved my baby. But then the fear came immediately, and that's where the Life Center stepped in. I think the other thing that is special, I know that they took a lot of time with me. And if, say, I had thought abortion was an option, which it wasn't, if you walk into a place like that and there's this feeding off of fear and anxiety, to make a decision, because if you don't make this decision right away, the price is going to go up. And then the fear is heightened. Where here, the Life Center is you walk in and you have time to think. There's nothing about being unwed and pregnant when you come to the Life Center that is shocking. You haven't disappointed anybody here. They're just open arms and help. Like, let's just get through this. You're here now. You're having a baby, and we're going to move forward. You have to clear your mind of all of the outside voices and things that can bring you down. Oh, I don't have enough money. I'm not done with school. There's so many factors. And they were able to walk me through every single point and have this beautiful answer of freedom. You can just be free to have your baby. I think kind of like the theme of this year was where hope grows. And I think that's what the joy is, that We know that there are women out there who need help, and there's this hope that, oh my gosh, they're going to find out that we're here and they're going to get help. And I'm going to be a part of that. If it's giving $5, if it's giving $10,000, if it's being in the back office or filling a baby bottle fundraiser, no matter what it is, what small thing you can do, there's hope in that. We know from past history, like my story, that people have really been helped, have really been lifted up, lives have been saved. That is just, there's nothing, I think, happier and more joyful than knowing a life has been saved. And I'm just really, have been forever thankful, and just always will be thankful for the Life Center and what they did for me. So I want other people to know that even if you really want to help a place just because people are abortion minded, there's so many other reasons to support the Life Center, because that wasn't my journey. I just needed someone to hold my hand for a while, and they did. So thank you, Life Center.
Good evening, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to be with you tonight in celebration of our love for life. My name is Rosanna Ruiz. I'm a board member with the Sacramento Life Center. I look forward to this wonderful event each year. It's getting dressed up and gathering in a large, elegantly decorated conference room with over 700 people. We all have the same line of thinking. We celebrate life. We celebrate it in the womb, out of the womb, in our day-to-day living. We celebrate it at the end of life, in natural death or in difficulties. We celebrate life. I love being in this company of people. And of course, we tonight gather together to celebrate many accomplishments of the past year and join in raising funds for the Life Center. Though we are limited in being with each other, we are not limited in the celebration and, of course, raising funds for life. I'm sure many of you have had the experience of a close friend or family member who has suffered with an unplanned pregnancy. The Life Center is here with all the information you might need in a crisis. Therefore, I support the center, and you can make a difference tonight. Please go to saclifegala.com, then go to the menu and click I Want to Help. A $10,000 donation fund funds the medical clinic for a week, and the center serves, on average, 60 women in a week. A $5,000 donation funds our mobile clinic for a month, and for those who are without transportation. A $2,500 donation funds 25 life-saving ultrasounds. This is where a mother can see her baby for the first time. and a $1,200 donation supports one woman's entire service of counseling and medical services. And a $500 donation provides diapers for a child for an entire year. Also, if you don't have the money tonight in full, you can make a monthly pledge. Remember that $1,200 amount of supporting a woman and all her services? And think of it, $1,200 saves a life. That's $100 a month. Our pledge, or pledge any money you can afford. So as we gather tonight in union in front of our big screens, don't forget our online bids with our auction items. That's on the website too. Know that you are donating for a great cause. This gala is 30% of our annual budget, all done by the generosity from all of you. The Sacramento Life Center is an asset too precious to lose, so reach into your deep pockets and have a great time tonight, because we have a great night planned for you. Please go on saclifegala.com. Thank you. Thank you for your generosity for life, and God bless.
Well, that right there might have been the most important part of the evening. Thank you so much for your generosity. Let's talk about the auction again. Earlier, I mentioned some of the great items we have, whether you want to go to Hawaii or the River Cats game or a taste of Sacramento. Let's do some more. I was looking at the list. A taste of Spain. You enjoy tapas. How about that? That'd be a wonderful thing to buy for yourself. Trip to Mexico. How about a cozy cabin and a fishing tournament? Guys, does your lady like to fish? Come on, that'd be a great thing to buy. What else? A Sonoma getaway, which looks fantastic. Kind of a little getaway for two, but you can bring some of your friends along for part of that. There's a beautiful amethyst ring if you're looking for an anniversary or Christmas gift. There's so many wonderful items there. Again, our auction goes till 9 o'clock tonight. You need to register online, and there's still time to do that. Go to saclifegala.com and register. And I've been saying this to all my friends. Look, set an alarm on your smartphone for 8:50. So you jump back in right before the auction closes, and then make sure you have the high bid there. So again, and by the way, we've got these great big packages, and please bid high. You don't have to break the bank to buy something at the auction tonight for the Sacramento Life Center Gala. There's up to 50 other items that are not as pricey, that are equally wonderful. And thank you to all of our donors who have made this possible as well. So that goes till 9 o'clock. Make sure you're registered online. If you're not fast with the thumbs on the smartphone or by a computer, you can call the Sacramento Life Center. There's somebody down there right now, and through 9 o'clock tonight. And you can make a bid that way over the phone, or you know what, just call and make a donation as well. Let's do the phone number. I'll put it on the screen too, but it's 916-451-4357. And you can do all this over the phone as well. We can be techie or not tonight at the Sacramento Life Center Gala. Our keynote speaker is up next. I'm looking forward to hearing from Cynthia Wins. She is the founder and CEO of Healed for Life. She's also the regional director of the Donor Relations for CareNet. This is an affiliation of more than 1,100 life centers, pregnancy centers across our nation. I said earlier, she is a warrior for the cause of life in the United States. Here's Cynthia.
Hello, friends of Sacramento Life Center. What an exciting night. I'm so excited to be here with you. I'm in your home. I'm honored to share my story, my journey. It's been a long road. Thank you for inviting me in. I'm that mom. I'm a mother of 3 children here on earth, 3 beautiful boys I get to raise. Prior to that, I have 3 children in heaven. The sin of abortion is not something that's easily carried through a lifetime. And there's a lot of work that goes into that redemptive moment. And I want to share my story with you. And as we're dialoguing, I want you to hear those moments where centers like Sacramento Life Center are making a difference. Because I was that girl. I was your client. There's more to the story, but I was the girl that you're reaching out to. I was the 14-year-old before her 15th birthday, sexually active, parents divorcing, kid acting out, looking for love in all the wrong places. First pregnancy. I'll never forget. My father's going to kill me. My mother quickly realized and whisked me off, checked me in under a unknown name, paid cash for an abortion right at 15. Here's what's alarming. When you terminate a child, and you are a child yourself, you can't reconcile it. You're not mature enough. We're called minors for a reason. And when that life came out of my womb, I spiraled. And statistically, and this is something you should know as a pro-life movement, statistically, I became the alarming statistic. If a child aborts early at that 15 age, she will terminate 1 to 3 more times before she's in her 20s. I'm that girl. Spiraling out of control to 19, what does a minor do when they don't know how to cope? Alcohol, drug, you name it. And what happens? Predictable statistic of a second pregnancy. What do? You do what you've done. You have another abortion. Fast forward, I'm in my 20s now. I'm dating someone. You know, this culture tells us, well, it's okay. We were in a committed relationship until we're not, and I'm fighting, and there's relationships outside of the relationship. And here's a third unintended pregnancy. This one was surreal. I've been bleeding through this pregnancy. I go to the doctor in disarray. She reads my state of crisis. She says crazy things to me like, well, just tell the one that you want to be dating it's his child. And in my mind, even in my delirium, I'm thinking, and spend a lifetime suppressing truth? Through the bleeding, she says, you know what, you're probably miscarrying anyway. And right there in the OB-GYN office, we go into the next suite, and she terminates the pregnancy. She does a D&C. You're bleeding, you're probably miscarrying, you're in distress, let's terminate. And I'm the blind little sheep walking into the next room. Okay, so stressed out. I didn't have the support. I didn't have the friends. I didn't have the discipleship. I didn't have Sacramento Life Center. 2 weeks go by, I come back for a checkup. She says, your uterus is still really enlarged. I don't think we got everything. This would have meant a 4th abortion procedure. Something as a young woman, even completely out of it, rises up and you say, I can't go through that again. I can't do it. And so what happens? Friends of the faith, this is where the Holy Spirit is so powerful. She says, we didn't get everything. My arm went up. I asked, can we see what we didn't get? The doctor says, sure, I'll send you for an ultrasound. And off I go. They're putting the probe on my abdomen, putting the probe. The technician goes out, the supervisor comes back in. What didn't they get? I mean, this is getting serious. The supervisor swings the screen around and says, the baby is moving so quickly in the canal, we can't get a still image. Baby? What baby? Friends, in that 3rd unintended pregnancy, I was carrying twins. The D&C terminated a twin from the womb. Miraculously, a twin survived. How? Only the hand of God can preserve a child from a D&C. I had no idea the abortions would wreck me emotionally, spiritually. I carried that through my life. I chose life for that pregnancy. That son is my firstborn son. As I go through life, when Romans about 4, I meet the man of my dreams, and this time of oneness comes until we start talking about children, and I'm a wreck every time because of the abortions. I can't talk about it. Intimacy freaks me out. I'm just an unhealed, wounded young woman that grew up. I love the man God brought to me. Chris was what I call God's tangible piece of himself to me to facilitate my healing journey. And he looked at me one day, 8 years into the marriage, God bless him, and he says, you know, there's a pregnancy center. One of our spinning students is on the board. Maybe if you went and gave your healing away, because I knew the things of Christ here, he said, maybe your joy would be made complete. Why don't you go and serve? I did. And I served, and I served, and I served until that director said, you need to go through post-abortion healing. And ladies and gentlemen, I was wrecked. It was the first time I faced the shame of abortion in my life. It's the first time I reconciled the loss of each tender little life. My children, my 3 children. I never dreamed I would fall in love with the ministry. I never dreamed I would run their events, much like the virtual gala you have tonight. I ran those galas live. I became the business manager, the bookkeeper. What else could I do for you, Lord? What else can I do? Until I became the CEO. And we ran 3 holistic reproductive health centers. At that time, 10 miles from my corporate office, Planned Parenthood had erected a 75,000 abortion providing giant in Houston, Texas. I shrunk behind my desk. Why now? I just love serving you, Lord. I just love being healed. Why me? Why now? Friends, I ran that center for 8 years. We made a huge impact in Houston, Texas. And I speak that impact in blessings over Sacramento Life Center. It matters what you're doing. The culture tells us abortion's normal. It's a choice. My body, my right. We have that struggle. Life versus the abortion industry. Abortion is normalized for our children. Friends, the Lord knows each and every life, and He wept with me through each of those losses. I just encourage you. You're the game changers. You're the first responders. You're the people interceding. Little Cynthia, after that first encounter, should have had someone like you say, slow down. What are you doing? You, friends, bring educated, informed choices. It is important work that you are doing. Technology through your ultrasound, we call that the window to the womb. I saw a twin on a screen. I saw a deflated sac beside that twin. I watched that through that whole pregnancy. These ultrasounds are the life-changing work that you guys bring into the lives of women like myself. I can't thank you enough for the work that you're doing. I never dreamed the Lord would call me to give my testimony, to share my deepest, darkest pain, years of counseling, years of clinging to the Lord, not understanding why. And so into the center, when I was running the center, I got asked to give my testimony. And I remember the first time because I got asked to give it in the state of Texas when they were passing a law. Should ultrasound be required before an abortion? Because it was not. When I took my job at the center, it was not required. I got down on my knees. I prayed to the Lord. I said no for about 4 hours. I cried. And you are the mother that will make sure no mother has to cry tears to the sin of abortion. You know, it's interesting, in my own coming into the world, I was, due on Christmas. And my Italian grandmother says to my mom, Rosalie, when the apple is ripe, it will fall. And my mother listened to my Italian grandmother. This apple didn't fall for 30 days. I didn't come until the end of January. Ask me when my birthday is. January 22nd. The law of the land that enabled abortion consecrated on January 22nd of 1973, my birth date. I said to the Lord, if this is the date that you have chosen for my birthday, then I humbly ask you, Father, to eradicate abortion from our land and redeem the birth date, January 22nd. Friends, I can't thank you enough. Your time, your talent, your treasure matters. I also want to talk to my sisters just briefly. Statistics tell us that 1 in 3 in the living room that you're in right now have walked in my shoes. And I pray on both sides. I know statistically we've walked down the same path of choosing abortion. I was a church girl. I want to tell you, walking on the blood of the Lamb in the white dress of redemption took work. And I had to be willing to confess my sin. I don't think God's gonna call you to get dressed up and be on camera and give your testimony, but I wanna encourage you, Sacramento Life Center does post-abortion healing work. It's rooted in the Word of God. It will free you. So friends, tonight, I wanna ask you humbly, will you give? Will you give your time? Will you give your talent if you're a counselor, a teacher, a discipler? And most importantly, nonprofits are funded by the good gifts of the believing body. Would you give your money? Sow and grow God's kingdom of redemption. God bless you.
If you have been to events like this around the greater Sacramento area, you have probably seen Mosley Collins before. Mosley is a very generous man of faith that makes so much good work in our community possible. Mosley Collins is the naming sponsor for the Sacramento Life Center Gala this year. We'd love to hear from Mosley.
Hi guys, this is Attorney Mosley Collins. I'm here to speak to you for a moment about Sacramento Life. You know, my law firm is proud to be the sponsor of this year's gala, as we were last year, because we believe in the work of Sacramento Life. And let me tell you how I got to this point. I'd always been, for years, against abortion. And then one year I heard a woman on the radio say, when I was in my 20s, I had an abortion and didn't think much about it. I just turned 50, the woman said, and now I realized I had killed the only child I would ever have. And that so broke my heart. And I prayed, Lord, make me a weapon against this evil thing called abortion. And I've been trying to be a weapon against it ever since. So let me share with you an idea I had out of the Bible. You know, in Matthew 25, Jesus says, I'm going to gather all people before me. I'm going to put one group on the right, which he calls sheep, and another group on the left, which he called goats. He says, I'm going to turn to the sheep and say, come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry and you fed me. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you took me in. And they on the right will say, Lord, when did we ever see you hungry and feed you, thirsty and give you drink, a stranger and take you in? And Jesus said, whenever you did this for the least of these, you did it to me. And then Jesus turned to those on his left and said, depart from me, you cursed, into the fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry and you wouldn't feed me. I was thirsty and you wouldn't give me drink. I was a stranger and you wouldn't take me in. And those on the left will say, Lord, when did we ever see you hungry and not feed you, or thirsty and not give you drink, or a stranger and not take you in? And Jesus said, whenever you didn't do it for the least of these, my brothers, you didn't do it unto me. So God was speaking to me about the scripture last night. And I'm going to give you what I think is the modern interpretation of it. Because see, in Jesus' day, they hadn't invented this great evil called abortion. So here's what I think would be the modern translation of that same scripture. This is what I think Jesus will say to people living in our day. I believe on that day when all are gathered before him, he's going to turn to those on his right and say, come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was an innocent, unborn baby, and my mother was going to abort me. But you stepped up and helped her make a good decision, so I was not killed by abortion, but I was given life. And he's going to turn to those on the left and say, depart from me, you cursed. For I was an innocent, unborn baby in my mother's womb, and she was going to abort me, and you didn't help. In fact, you encouraged her to abort me, and I was killed by abortion. And they will say, Lord, when do we ever see you, an innocent unborn baby, and didn't help you? And he'll say, whenever you didn't help the least of these children, the least of these unborn children, you didn't help me. How powerful is that? And this is the words of Jesus. So how important is it that you and I step up and help these mothers with these innocent unborn children, help these mothers save their babies from abortion? It's just critical, and God notices whether we help or not. And I know you want to help. So let me tell you two things that are helpful. One is prayer, that's always helpful. But let me talk to you about money. It takes money to run Sacramento Life. It takes money to have the ultrasound machines. It takes money to have the counselors. It takes money to save innocent unborn children from death by abortion. So I'm all in on this. I'm contributing, and I would ask you to do the same, and I know you'll be blessed. Thank you so much for listening.
Well, we are getting close to the end. I want to remind you again that our auction tonight goes until 9 o'clock this evening. So there's still time to bid, and there's so many great items there. And every penny that you spend at the auction goes to the work of the Sacramento Life Center. And so as we are wrapping up, I will remind you that that work goes on. The need has never been greater. One of the ways you can be a part of the work of the Life Center going forward is to share the link to this video with your friends. Take it forward to everybody that you know so that they can learn about the Life Center and perhaps choose to support the ongoing wonderful work. So please do that for us if you would. Don't forget to set an alarm on your smartphone if you're one of our bidders tonight for $8.50, because the auction closes at 9. You want to be the high bidder. You can also call, by the way, if you don't go online, to saclifegala.com. There's the phone number again on your screen. You can call the Sacramento Life Center. Operators are standing by, and if you want to make a donation or buy something that way, that will be most welcome. Thank you again for your generosity, for being a part of the effort this year. Unique though it was, this has been a great Sacramento Life Center Gala in 2020. God bless you. We'll see you next year in person.